So now that we've talked about the pros, we're going to go into the cons of being a loan officer. Okay, so the first con that we're going to be talking about is what we talked about earlier. In a pro is that is commission based. So how this can be a con is that if you're commission based, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to be commission based unless you work for a bank. You are only paid if you close a loan. So anybody that's been in the industry knows that you may not close right away. Like let's say you get your license this month, you may not close a loan right away. There's going to be times where you have to put work in. So the rule of thumb that people usually say is that the work you put in today is going to yield results in 90 days. So when you get in the industry, unless you know somebody right off the bat that wants to get a loan or that needs a loan, you're more than likely going to be trying to get your first loan in, or yeah, trying to get your first loan in. And that may not take place until 2 to 3 or more months later. So what that means is that in the meantime, while you're working on getting that loan closed, you're not going to be getting a commission check. So you're going to keep that in mind, that if you are going to be getting the industry, you want to make sure that either you have some money saved up, or maybe if you have like a spouse, or you have someone that is able to take care of the bills or your portion of the bills in the meantime until you are able to close your first loan, then that's something that you want to keep in mind, because you are not going to be making money right off the bat. And that is one of the biggest misconceptions about being a loan officer, is that you're going to be the money's going to be flowing right away. I'm going to talk about that in another video, because I really do feel like that is very important to talk about, because that's the misconception that I had, is that you're going to be rolling in money and cash right away. That could happen, but at the same time, a lot of times it will take time for you to start making money. So you want to keep that in mind. The second thing, which I guess it kind of goes hand in hand with the first con, is that it's a sales position. So if you are someone that is not, you don't like cold calling, you don't like sales, doing any type of sales, then this may not be the industry for you, because, or I wouldn't say that it may not be the industry for you. Being a loan officer may not be for you, but there are other positions in this industry that you may be able to get into as well. But for now, we're talking about loan officers. So sales position, meaning that you're going to be calling, you're going to be updating, you're going to be cold calling a lot of times, you're going to be trying to get business in. So whether that's contacting real estate agents, whether that's going to networking events, whether that's setting up home buyers consultations, doing seminars, those type of things are things you're going to be doing in this industry. And if you are someone that does not like to cold call, I'm not saying you're not going to be successful, because you can be successful. You're just going to have to do it in a different way, but you're going to have a harder time than if you were okay with it, or if you were open to doing it. So it is definitely sales. You are going to be responsible for getting your leads in, and the way that you get them in is through sales. So that is another thing, because I know someone asked me, is loan officer a sales position? And yes, depending on what type of loan officer you are. Like if you work at a bank, that's different, because there's times when if you work at a bank, the clients come in to you, and all you're doing is servicing them and helping them out. But if you're a broker and you're independent, then yes, you are definitely gonna be doing sales. The third con, so this could be a pro or a con depending on the way you look at it, but I don't think it's a con, but I'm saying it as a con for people that are introverted. So you have to be a people person. And what I mean by that when I say it is that you have to be someone that likes to talk to people. You have to be someone that at least can engage in conversation. Because, like I was saying in the pros, this is a relationship building business, meaning you are going to do the best if you build relationships with other people. So you want to be talking to people, you want to be introducing yourself to people, you want to be social, you want to be nice, you want to be friendly. Those are all things that you're going to want to do that's going to help you be successful. And I say being a people person as a con is because, like I said, if you're an introverted person, then this may be a con for you because introverted people don't really like to talk to a lot of people, or they don't like to engage in conversation, or they like to do it in their own way. So being a people person, you are definitely going to have to be a people person. And that's something that I learned too. Because I remember I had a friend and she was like, I'm not a people person. She was like, I wouldn't mind being a loan officer, but I'm not a people person. And then this is when I first started. I was like, you really don't have to be a people person. But as the months and the time went on, yes, you have to be a people person. I'm a people person. If you are an introvert, that doesn't mean that you cannot be successful. You have to just be open to being those things to be successful. So as long as you're willing and open to doing those things, then you should do good. This one I actually talked about earlier, but I'll put it here as well, is that you can go months without closing a loan. That's just something just to keep in mind, is that there's a period of time where you may go a month or two, or a few months without closing a loan. So that's why you want to make sure that when you get paid, when you get your commission, that you are saving up for those rainy days, because there's going to be times where you're closing 10 loans a month, and then there's going to be times where you're closing none. So you want to make sure that the times where you're closing a lot of loans a month, that you are saving, and you are making sure that you're making sure that you're putting up some money for the times where you may not close. And that's something, so you have to be really good with management, especially in the beginning, until you get to the point. I mean, you should always be good with money management, but you're going to have to be really good with money management until you get to the point where you're consistently closing loans. Then you may be able to do a little bit more things, but you definitely want to make sure that you are saving your money, because there's going to be months that you're not going to close a loan. And I'm just making you aware of that now. I'm being realistic with you.